Hello and welcome back to your mat. I'm Hannah from Tula Being Mindful Movement. Thanks for joining me here today. I'm theming things around the time of year. As I'm recording this, we are just starting to head into autumn. I am lucky enough to be living in a place in the world that does have seasons. I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia. I have also been very lucky to live in many other places in the world, and I always find that the places where I don't have those clear four seasons, I really miss it. So I'm embracing this change of season as I see those leaves start to change. I would say that autumn, fall time, now I'm in America, fall, is probably my favorite time of year. We're also going to be working through a mandala flow. And if you're new to this, it is that we will be at times facing the front. This is my front edge of the mat, and also flipping things around to be doing our sequence at the back of our mat as well. So facing towards the back edge. So I'm going to refer to this edge as the front of the mat and that edge as the back of the mat. And I'll kind of keep that phrasing throughout. Now, if you are new to this type of practice, there are going to be moments that you feel out of control, unsure of yourself, and a bit wobbly. Embrace this. Life's wobbly. We have moments that are out of control. Change is inevitable, and that's why I thought I'd bring it into today's practice as we are starting to see those wonderful changes outside. Let's see if we can also see those changes from within too. Roll out your mat, get comfy, and we're going to start lying down. So here we are lying on our mat. I've chosen to have soles of feet to the earth and a little teepee of the knees, so the feet are a little wider than hips. You might prefer legs long. I'm enjoying this sort of grounding sensation through the back body with the knees bent. I'm going to invite you to bring one or both hands gently to the belly, and if that's uncomfortable in any way, just bring the arms wide or wherever it feels best. We're going to start with a pranayama that I called the staircase breath. So we'll be taking some sort of shorter, energetic inhales, not too vigorous, and we're going to take about 5 of these, and then you'll take a long, deep exhale. So I'll start, maybe the first or second round is just a little demo for you, and then just see if you can join in when you're ready. We'll try to do sort of anywhere between 6 and 8 in total rounds. So I'm going to take a nice exhale. Oh, by the way, it's all through the nose if possible. If you wanted to, you could exhale out through the mouth though. So I'm going to exhale my breath away here. Inhaling through the nose, 5 little ones. Join in when you can. One more round. And then just continue to breathe normally. You might remove your hands away from the body if they are resting there. And just feel into this space. Feel into the freedom of movement of breath now. For some of us, this time of year can bring a sense of sorrow as we see nature starting to wilt and die around us. But it's also a wonderful reminder how sometimes energy has to die so that it can nourish and renew once again. A wonderful reminder of the circle of energy is looking at nature around us. I'm going to invite you to take a really deep stretch as you inhale. Feet away, hands away. And then everything hugs in, knees in, forehead in. And then either roll to one side or rock and roll up and down the length of your mat. And we're going to end up in a forward fold, soles of feet together. Uttanasana, little butterfly forward fold. Don't worry about how far away the heels are from the hips. Just creating a diamond through the feet. Let yourself bow. And it might be nice to even take a little sway of the shoulders a little side to side. So the organs that are related to autumn are our large intestine and our lungs. So expecting a few forward folds, some compression through the belly, some twists to get movement happening, function happening in those intestines, and also some heart opening movement as well. When you feel ready, we're just going to bring the feet behind us and land the hands, the feet, downward facing dog. Give yourself a little pedal out there. Might be our first downward dog of the day, week, month. And then from here, start to walk your hands to the base of the mat towards your feet. Forward folding with a generous bend in your knees. Let your head become heavy, lengthening through the back of the neck, the spine. We'll take a little twist here. Right hand stays to center. You could grab a block, place it on top if you want. Left hand towards the hip. Begin to straighten as much as you can through the left leg. Deepen the bend through the right as we see if we can lift the left shoulder. Some of you may have chosen to take the gaze up, perhaps a little half bind, looping left arm around the back body towards that right hip. And slowly slink your way back through center, forward fold, bend deep through the knees. Same thing on the other side, left hands to center, deepen the bend through the left leg this time, right hand to the hip or the waist. And see if you can concentrate on drawing that right shoulder up towards the ceiling. You might choose to loop right hand all the way around the lower back, trying to bring right hand towards that left hip. And then let yourself melt forwards. We'll walk the hands forwards through to high plank pose. And from here, soften the knees. Inhale, find length, knee to crown of head, hug elbows in. We're going to lower all the way down, slow and controlled. Fire up those arm muscles, the core. Slowly lower. Take a concentrated mini cobra. So inject energy through your core. Try not to press down through the hands. Use core and back strength. And then lower down. Do that 2 more times. So the aim is not how high it can go. It's how long the spine can be. Can the heart shine forwards? 1 more. Like a mini locust, but without lifting the legs. This time you can press into the hands and lift as high as you feel comfortable, still creating a little energy through your core. So we're not just hanging out in flexibility, you want to have a little core control. Maybe some of you have hovered the thighs for upward facing dog, and we meet in downward facing dog. Maybe a breath in through the nose, sigh it out. Step, walk or jump towards the top edge of your mat. Take a halfway lift, inhale, forward fold. Hands rise, come to stand, Tandasana. Thumbs to heart. So we're going to already head into our first flow. Remember that this is going to be known as the front edge of your mat. We're heading straight into a balance here. Hover the left knee high and the right hand's reach. Inhale. You're balancing on that right foot. Let's go ahead and take this round particularly slow and steady. Our second and third round will be moving with breath. From here, we're going to end up in a warrior three, but we're going to bring the arms back behind us. So bend through the standing leg. And extend the left leg back and take a little heart lift, sometimes known as an aeroplane variation. I'm pushing out through the ball of that left foot. I'm keeping a bend in my standing leg for stability here and strength. Shine the heart forwards. So there is a little bit of a heart lift, little heart opener. And then step the left foot back. You're going to ground the heel so it becomes warrior one. So don't step too far back. That's the aim. We don't want to step too far. Warrior one is a super challenging pose. So if this is not for you, you can have the back heel lifted. Just know that the next pose we're heading towards, which will be a humble warrior, usually has the back heel down, and it can be a little more unstable without the back heel down. So just be aware in a moment when we do bow forwards, you might not want to go so deep. We're going to clasp the hands low at the base of the spine. Take a little heart lift, so roll shoulders back, lift and extend the sternum up. Perhaps the gaze will go up. And humble warrior, here we come. Widen through that right knee if possible. Start to bow the heart to the inside of that right knee. This is where things can become particularly wobbly if the back heel is lifted. Just note that you may not linger there, or perhaps be there for so long. Try to avoid your head swinging towards the left side of your mat and your buttocks towards the right. Can you try to stay centered here? Maybe just lifting a little higher through the torso will give you a bit more space. Just a little side note, you do not have to have hands interlaced behind you. Maybe you're taking hold of the elbows instead. We're going to raise the arms, the heart up, reach those fingers high. Head to warrior two. You're still facing the front edge of your mat, widening perhaps through the feet. Looking to the tip of your right middle finger, our dristi, down the length of that front arm. Dristi is our gaze. Reverse your warrior. Reach left hand to the back leg, right hand reaches up. If you wanted to, you can straighten through the front leg. This will be your choice through your practice today. Warrior two once again. This time straighten through both legs. We're going to end up in warrior two facing the back edge of your mat. Settle in, looking down the length of that left arm to left middle fingertip. Go for your reverse warrior. If you want to, you can straighten through the front leg and create a reverse triangle. That'll be your choice today. We'll windmill the hands. So this time, bend through the front leg. Windmill the hands so that your right hand earths to the inside of that left foot. Pivot the right heel up. Left hand reaches to the ceiling. You're in a twisted low lunge. You're going to pause here. Find your grounding. All right, so look down towards the back edge where your hands and your feet are now going to step up. Take a halfway lift. You're now facing the back of your mat. Exhale, fold. Hands rise, Tandasana into a mountain pose. Hands to heart. We reset. So we're going to be working through this flow. Just set yourself up. We're going to go for the second side this time. Balancing into your left foot, the right knee will hover as the hands will reach high. Inhale, we're taking it slow and steady. That doesn't mean it's easier. It just means you've got time to think about the pose. Slow does not always mean easier, that's for sure. Last breath. All right, so we're taking our balance. Swing the right heel back behind you. We're also swinging the arms behind you. We're quite active in this one today. So see if you can have a little bend in the standing leg. So you're now using stability muscles in that left leg. Can you push out through the ball of your right big toe and lift that leg so you're switching on through the right glute, and maybe lift the gaze a little bit forwards, roll shoulders back, we're turning it into a little heart opener, and then step the right foot not too far back so you're grounding the heel, warrior one. Lift the arms up, Virabhadrasana one. So warrior one is a really technical pose. It's a really challenging one to actually keep the back heel down and keep the length through the spine. I find that I collapse a lot through my lower back if I don't concentrate, if I've got my feet too wide, all sorts of things go on. See if you can find a little bit of buoyancy here, lengthening up through the fingertips. And then we'll clasp the hands low. You could take hold of the elbows. I'm also going to try to bring the opposite thumb on top here. Feels a little strange. Roll shoulders back, lift the hearts, inhale. Humble warrior, we bow to the inside of that left knee if possible. Try to widen the left knee to the left side so you're active. Look towards the right toes if you've managed to drop the head low. That's the back foot now, but it's the back foot that's towards the front of the mat. This is where things can get complicated in our mandala flow. One more breath. And then as we inhale, rise up through those fingertips, lift the heart, warrior one. And transition to warrior two, facing the back of your mat still. Reverse your warrior, so you could keep the front leg bent or you could straighten it. It's going to be your choice. And then back through to warrior two, facing the back edge of your mat. This is where we straighten the legs. Warrior two facing the front of the mat. Reverse your warrior or your triangle. Bend through the front leg and continue to windmill the arms through. So left hand grounds, right hand lifts. You're in a twisted low lunge. Looking to the top edge of your mat, ground the hands, step it up. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Hands rise up, inhale. Thumbs to heart, exhale. So we've got two more rounds. We're going to move a little more fluidly with the rhythm of our breath from here. Just doing your best to keep up with your own rhythm, not mine. I'm just here as your guide. Stand into your right foot, left knee hovers. Inhale into your variation of your warrior three today, where it's more of an aeroplane variation. Lift the heart, push out through the ball of that left foot. Step left foot to the back of the mat, warrior two, so not too far with that step. And then lower the hands behind you, exhale. Lift the heart, inhale. Humble warrior, exhale. We're already lifting up, go in your steady pace. Warrior one, hands reach high. Warrior two, still facing the top edge of the mat. Reverse triangle, warrior. And still to the front edge of the mat, warrior two. Straighten the legs, pivot the feet. Warrior two, facing the back edge. Reverse. Inhale. Windmill the hands. Right hand to the earth, left hand to the sky. Twisted low lunge, so you lift the back heel up. Both hands ground, step it up to the back edge of your mat. Take a halfway lift. And to forward fold. Hands rise up. Thumbs to heart, moving with breath. Stand into your left foot, right knee hovers, hands rise. Into a warrior three aeroplane. Take it steady to step back. Slowly ground the back heel, hands rise, Virabhadrasana 1. And then from here, clasp the hands low or take hold of the elbows. Little heart lift for an inhale, look up maybe. Bow, humble warrior, exhale. Hands rise up, take it in your time. Warrior 1. Warrior 2, still facing the back edge of your mat. Reverse, maybe straighten the front leg. Warrior 2 to the back edge once again, before we straighten through the legs. And warrior 2, front of the mat. Reverse your warrior or triangle. And then windmill those hands through, left hand to the earth, right hand to the sky as you pivot the left heel up, twisted low lunge. Both hands drop down, step it up, take a halfway lift. And fold. Hands rise up. Thumbs to heart. Let's take an extra breath. We have one more round, either side to go. Hands rise, hover the left knee, stand into the right foot. Sweep that leg back, arms back into your warrior 3 variation. Lift the heart and then step back. Warrior 1, hands rise. Interlace fingers low or grip your elbows. Lift the heart, inhale. Bow, humble warrior. Exhale. Hands rise up. Warrior 1. To warrior 2, facing the front of the mat. Reverse your warrior. Warrior 2, front edge of the mat before we transition through to the back edge. Warrior 2. Reverse your warrior or reverse triangle. Windmill those hands through, right hand to the earth, left to the sky, twisted low lunge. Hands to the top of the mat, it's the back edge as we step it up, halfway lift. To fold. Hands rise, thumbs to heart, last side. Hover the right knee as we stand into the left foot. And we swing arms and leg back. Step back, warrior 1. Take your time to feel grounded. Interlace fingers low behind your back or grip the elbows. Inhale, lift the heart. Humble warrior. Exhale. We rise up. Warrior 1. Warrior 2, facing the back of your mat. Reverse triangle or warrior. Warrior 2, last time back edge of the mat. Straighten the legs, transition. Warrior 2, front edge of the mat. Reverse. Windmill those hands, left hand earths, right hand lifts. Peel the back heel up. Both hands to the earth, step it up. Halfway lift, inhale. And fold. Exhale, hands rise up, inhale. Thumbs to heart. Exhale. Again, take a pause. Maybe notice your heart beating beneath the thumbs or palms. Keep the gaze steady or eyes closed if you're feeling balanced. And just start to notice your energy transition to right here and now. Open the eyes if they're closed. We're going to add a little balance of a tree pose here. Some say a simple one, but it could be that we need to move off our mat and even come towards a wall or prop to help us be supported. So feel free to stay on your mat or even just come off if it feels a bit more stable. Bring the weight into that right foot. And then we could start with left sole of foot to inner right ankle, and that could be where we pause. We have already been working through some balance, so you might be feeling quite stable, or you might feel like all your energy is spent already. If you feel like you can go there, maybe you're bringing sole of left foot to inner right thigh. Try to avoid pushing firmly onto that right inner knee joint. So either above or below is a good idea. Little squeeze of the glutes so that you can widen and activate through inner thigh. And maybe you want to grow through those branches today. Perhaps you can imagine that there's a little gentle breeze outside. One of the first walks I've done in a long time this morning, where I actually had to put a jumper on and there was a breeze. Little sways, imagining that you are those branches and those leaves. And if this makes you fall, a little giggle at yourself, bring yourself back into play. It's all part of the practice. And slowly lower the foot. Just take a pause between the two sides. Let's enjoy this moment of earthing and grounding. Feet a good hip width apart. Again, you might choose to close the eyes. A little connection inwards. Connection to breath. And connection to your roots. And then we'll swap it over to the second side. So left foot ground, spread the weight across that left foot. Maybe we're pausing right foot to inner left ankle. If we're feeling strong and stable on that second side, finding your footing. Little squeeze of the glutes, activation of thighs to widen through that right knee. And then maybe again, growing those branches. You don't have to add the sways. But if you're feeling pretty stable through your footing, you're imagining those roots growing down, earthing you, supporting you, you can add the sways. And then softly releasing those feet. And let's pause once again. Finding your way to the top edge of your mat. Reach the arms up, inhale, and fold. Halfway lift. Step back, drop the knees to the earth. And come to tabletop. And then reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. And then dive the right arm underneath the left. Maybe you could settle the right shoulder into the earth or a pillow. I like to bring left hand away from my face and push into that left hand so that the left shoulder lifts. Some of you might choose to bring the left hand around the back of the body into that half bind shape again. Lightly pressing into the right shoulder and back of the hand. Stay for about 3 more breaths. And then I invite you to bring the left hand closer to the face, lift yourself up, right arm reaches high. And then I invite you to come towards a closed variation of child's pose. If you can, knees quite close together, and rest your belly, your torso on top of the thighs. Maybe bring the arms back beside those legs. Let the shoulders round and droop downwards. And notice the rise and fall of your torso on top of your thighs as you breathe. It forces us to breathe through the back ribs and use different parts of the lungs and the diaphragm that we may not so automatically do. You don't have to have the hips perfectly touching the heels. Your hips could be quite a bit higher. You could even have a pillow underneath the buttocks between the heels and the thighs. And then we'll work through to the second side. So bring yourself back into tabletop. It'll be the left hand that rises first. Inhale, reach and open up, and then dive left arm underneath the right. Perhaps you can try to nestle left shoulder into the earth, looking out towards the right side. I like to explore pressing the right hand into the earth, trying to lift right shoulder higher, and you might stay there. Or you might loop right arm around the back body. And there's a slight activation of pressing the back of the arms into the body and the earth. Just a couple more breaths. And then once again, bring the right hand down in front of your face. Left hand rises up. Unravel. Place the hand back down. And if possible, once again, nestling into your variation of a child's pose. If you do prefer to have the knees wide this time, you're welcome. And from here, we're going to slowly make our way onto our backs. So just gathering the knees in here, little rock from side to side. Keep the right knee tucked in and extend the left leg away, let it drop down. You could also have the knee bent, place the foot to the earth if preferred. And then we'll guide the right leg across towards the left side. I actually like to just scoot my hips an inch towards the right first. That's something that I like in my own spine. You don't have to do that. And then just let gravity take over here. Let the right knee drop down towards the earth. And if it feels good, turning the head away. You can linger longer here if you're enjoying this or exploring different variations of a twist. One more breath otherwise. We're going to head back towards center and swap it to the other side. So this time, gather your left knee in, extend the right leg away. Generous hug of that knee in and thigh in. And then we want to guide the leg across the body. I like to shimmy hips just an inch the opposite direction first. I'm just laughing at the clicks that I'm creating in my hips and spine with each of these twists, which is feeling quite releasing on my body today. So I'm not really trying to shove the body into this pose. I'm just really letting gravity take over here. Last breath, unless you're choosing to linger longer. And it is time for us to set up for Shavasana. Extending the legs or supporting with pillows somehow or a blanket. Starting to connect to your surroundings, invite a little wiggle of fingers and toes. Today, as we leave our deep rest, I invite you to reach the arms up overhead, and then let's walk the feet over to the left side and the hands and the shoulders to the left side, and take a moment in what's sometimes referred to as banana asana, banana pose. Seeing if you can keep both sit bones and buttocks grounded, both shoulders grounded. One more breath and breathe specifically into the right side of the rib cage. So find a flare and an expansion. And then we'll go to the other side. So shimmy heels to center, then continue them off towards the right side. Same thing with the upper body. Can you keep the shoulders grounded and the hips grounded? And then we're trying to expand through that left side of the body. So at least one really concentrated inhale of flaring open through the left side of the ribs. And then shuffling your way to center, hug the knees in and roll to the side as you make your way up to seated. You might like to rest palms facing down on the legs, and a sense of lengthening up, crown of head lifting, an easefulness through your breath, and a grounding through your body. Thank you for joining today's practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I bow to you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula Being free and accessible to all.